Hey, y'all, Scott Horton here for Liberty.me, the social network and community-based publishing platform for the liberty-minded. Liberty.me combines the best of social media technology all in one place and features classes, discussions, guides, events, publishing, podcasts, and so much more. And Jeffrey Tucker and I are starting a new monthly show at Liberty.me, Eye on the Empire. It's just $4 a month if you use promo code SCOTT when you sign up. And hey, once you do, add me as a friend on there at scotthorton.liberty.me. Be free. Liberty.me. All right, you guys, welcome back to the show. I'm Scott Horton. It's my show, The Scott Horton Show. First up today is Salam Al-Marayati from the Muslim Public Affairs Council. That's mpac.org. mpac.org. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, so Muhammad Youssef Abdulazeez apparently is the name of the shooter from the Chattanooga massacre yesterday. Killed 4 Marines and attempted to kill some Navy men, I believe it is. And all over the Daily Beast, they say they found his blog, and it's all about going to paradise and all of these things. And so I guess Islam made him do it. And the burden is on you to prove that all Muslims in the world aren't guilty of the crime that he committed. So go right ahead.
Well, first of all, I think, number one, there is definitely a force called ISIS and violent extremists that are setting up this narrative that it's the job of Muslims to go and kill Christians and Jews. So there's definitely a scourge within the communities that have that problem. And the reality, however, is that the majority of Muslims stand against that and are fighting against that. And we should not fall into the trap of thinking that ISIS represents the faith. If that's the case, then we are going to go down that path of a religious war where there are no winners. I think we have to divide the world not between religion, but divide the world between those who promote the cult of death and those who are trying to work for life. And the Marines are those who represent the ones who are living and dying for our freedom. So I side with the Marines, and I believe that the way to deal with ISIS is to isolate them and not isolate the vast majority of American Muslims.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very big of you. I wouldn't go so far as to say that.
No, it's not big of me. Let's not patronize.
Well, okay, so let's not. I mean, the Marines aren't fighting for our freedom at all. The Marines are destroying our freedom by waging endless war across the world at the behest of criminal politicians, and they're creating enemies for the American people all the time. And that's certainly no rationalization for the murder that happened yesterday, but I don't think you need to pretend like they're fighting for our freedom. Give me a break. We've done nothing but lose freedom daily since the war on terror began.
The Marines?
Well,
you're talking about the Marines?
Well, they helped make it all possible. I mean, them and the Army and the Air Force, they waged the war that justifies the loss of our freedom and that creates more enemies for us. Look at what's happening in Fallujah right now.
You're mixing up two things. You're mixing up our bad policies, and then with the Marines who've dedicated their lives to serve us. So at least I'm talking about the individuals who are serving us. Yes, we have a lot of bad policies. We can talk about that, but let's not mix up the two.
Well, again, I'm not saying that those 4 guys deserve to be attacked or anything like that. I'm just saying I can't think of a time where a U.S. Marine fought for America's freedom, the American people's freedom ever. What, when we were going to be conquered by the North Koreans back in the 50s, if the Marines hadn't held them at bay? I mean, the whole thing's a joke. America is the empire waging war in other people's countries. They're not defending our freedom from any foreign attack.
Like I said, we can talk about the policies and how bad they are and, have a conversation about that. That's
anyway,
something else.
The point is...
But anyway...
Yeah, the point is that, well, here's the thing about this, okay? Even when the FBI entraps some idiot into an attack, they don't tell him Islam mandates you do this. They tell him, don't you hate American foreign policy that is hurting your fellow Muslims. That's how even the FBI motivates someone into incriminating themselves in a terrorist thing. However, in this case, this guy, I mean, they're saying he went to Yemen and all that. We don't know his whole story and all that. But his blog seems, very religiously based, and rather than attacking American policy in specific. So I wonder, I guess I have to assume that's going to hand a lot of talking points to the right that, see, it's all about Islam. Islam makes them do it. So how do you dispute that?
But the reality is any idiot can use any excuse to do that. I mean, you can come up with any idea and theory, and, if it's meant to kill people, then that's what it is. It has nothing to do with the values that you espouse. If you murder, you're a murderer. You can espouse all the great values in life, but you're a murderer and you're a criminal. The other thing is that, on these cases of trying to deal with the threat of ISIS to our families here, what we've done is create a program called Safe Spaces, where we're raising awareness. We're calling for intervention when a mother or a father or a friend finds somebody who's a troubled lost soul going down that path of violent extremism. So, I mean, we're doing what we can, and we're working with the government. I think there's a lot more that can be done, and obviously, I think as you're alluding, there's a lot of policies that need to be reviewed that are root causes of some of these problems. But it's a complex issue. There's no single answer.
Right. Yeah, well, it certainly is. And I think, one of the terrible things that's happened here is because the war has gone on for so long, what was a pretty marginal view has become much more popular, especially on the right in America, that basically we're in a civilizational war here, and Islam makes them hate us, and so all we can do is fight them. What are we going to do? Win them over with kindness when their religion mandates a perpetual war against the middle part of North America forever? And so even though that's not how this thing started, the longer it goes on, the further that myth is reinforced, and people start really suspecting. I mean, like, this guy was, virtually born and raised here. He was raised here. He's considered an American. Everybody in school liked him, and he fit into the community and this kind of thing. He's not a foreign terrorist who snuck in here. He's an American who turned against us, and that really plays into the myth, I think.
He was probably, and again, we're all speculating. We really don't know the facts, but more than likely he was influenced by a foreign ideology. That ideology has no traction or footing anywhere in the United States.
We'll talk more about that then, because I think, tell, right-wing talk radio audiences that that's the case, and they just couldn't believe you. They assume that all Muslims are out to get them, basically, or else what are you doing here?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the facts speak. I mean, there are Muslims who serve in our military. There are Muslims who serve in our law enforcement. There's Muslims who serve as doctors and teachers, and that's the vast majority. I mean, you just have to, accept those facts. But I agree with you. I mean, some people just don't want to deal with the facts. They have their theories and basically deny any truth that debunks those myths, and just continue parroting talking points that basically are out to create a religious war, and that's exactly what ISIS wants.
Right. See, this is the thing of it, too, that people never really think about for some reason is, they get angry and they react without realizing that that's the whole point of the enemy making them angry, is to try to get us to react. ISIS doesn't have any real power in the world. So the best thing that they can do to us is try to manipulate us,
Exactly. They pose no existential threat to the United States. They terrorize. They are a terrorist group, and terrorism only succeeds when there is an audience. And if we take away the audience from terrorists, then they become irrelevant.
All right. Well, listen, sorry about the whole diversion of the conversation there. It's very important that you say the things you say, so I really appreciate the work you're doing there and coming on the show today.
Good to talk to you.
Okay, thanks. That's Salam Al-Marayati. He's at MPAC, the Muslim Public Affairs Council. MPAC condemns shooting at military recruiting center. Hey, y'all, Scott Horton here for WallStreetWindow.com. Mike Swanson knows his stuff. He made a killing running his own hedge fund and always gets out of the stock market before the government-generated bubbles pop, which is, by the way, what he's doing right now, selling all his stocks and betting on gold and commodities. Sign up at wallstreetwindow.com and get real-time updates from Mike on all his market moves. It's hard to know how to protect your savings and earn a good return in an economy like this. Mike Swanson can help. Follow along on paper and see for yourself. wallstreetwindow.com. Hey, all, Scott Horton here. It's always safe to say that one should keep at least some of your savings in precious metals as a hedge against inflation. And if this economy ever does heat back up and the banks start expanding credit, rising prices could make metals a very profitable bet. Since 1977, Robertson Roberts Brokerage Inc. has been helping people buy and sell gold, silver, platinum, and palladium, and they do it well. They're fast, reliable, and trusted for more than 35 years. And they take Bitcoin. Call Robertson Roberts at 1-800-874-9760 or stop by rrbi.co.